Hey beauties, welcome back. So today we're talking about my favorite aspects when it comes to makeup, which is complexion. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my favorite drugstore complexion products that I feel like are very essential in your makeup collection. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. But before we get started with the video, a portion of today's video is done in partnership with Ana Luisa. I've been working with Ana Luisa for years now and I absolutely love their jewelry. You guys know Ana Luisa jewelry is literally all I wear just because their pieces are very sustainable and they last a long time and they're hypoallergenic. So I'm somebody who's very sensitive to jewelry and just certain types of metals, but with Ana Luisa I have never reacted and I've been using their jewelry for about 3 years now. So they're having an end of year sale where you can get up to 20% off. So I want to share with you guys a few of the pieces that I've been loving that I would highly recommend getting for yourself or your loved one for a gift. So the first earrings that I have on are these Elisa hoop earrings. So I wore these throughout the video and I've worn them a couple of times in my other videos. I love the style of these earrings. They're like a deco inspired gold hoop earrings. I feel like these earrings are great on their own, but if you're feeling a little daring, you can pair them up with other earrings like stud earrings. So next we have this bracelet right here called the Outlast bracelet. So this is a gold dipped herringbone chain and I feel like it's very versatile. You can definitely wear this every day, or you can just up your look with a really dressy outfit with this bracelet just to keep your style very simple. I love this bracelet because it pairs really well with the inner necklace, which is very similar to the bracelet. So I love them with just a natural makeup look or just no makeup at all. And then lastly we have these Kian earrings. These are actually very popular earrings nowadays. I love Ana Luisa pieces because they have a lot of dainty and cute pieces. I find that these earrings look good with any type of makeup look and also with no makeup look. And I feel like you can definitely stack this up for more of an edgy look. So definitely check out Ana Luisa in the description box down below. I'll leave all the information on all the pieces that I'm wearing and also use my code LJ20 at checkout. And again, I want to give a huge thank you to Ana Luisa for partnering with me in this portion of today's video. So the first type of product is a foundation. So I have different foundations here that I would recommend for different skin types. So the first one is if you have dry skin, you always want to use a foundation that gives you a really nice glow and a healthy look because your skin is dry. It tends to absorb the makeup products. So you want to look for a foundation that gives you a glowy finish. And a foundation that I really love is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I have dry skin. Sometimes my skin tends to be normal, but when my skin feels extremely dry, this is a go-to foundation for me because it leaves my skin with radiance. So after applying it, it might look matte, and then after like 30 minutes to an hour, you can see that your skin looks glowy. It is a natural finish foundation, so your skin is going to look like skin, but it gives off a medium coverage, so you do have to build it up to a full coverage if you're looking to get more coverage. So the shades that I use is Mocha, and I also use the shade Sienna. I like mixing these two up because it gives me the perfect shade. But if you're somebody who has oily skin, then you want to opt for an oil controlling foundation. So a foundation that helps to keep the oils on your skin down when you have a full face of makeup. So typically those types of foundations are usually oil-free foundations that have a matte finish. So my current favorite one for oily skin is the Revlon ColorStay foundation. So this is a matte foundation. It's an oil-free foundation as well. This can also work for combination skin, as combination skin also has oils on the T-zone area. So the shade that I use is 500 Walnut, which gives me a perfect match. This foundation gives me more of a light to medium coverage. It does also have an SPF of 15, but the reason why I really love this foundation and would recommend it is that it's a long-lasting foundation. So when you apply it on your skin, it doesn't move around and it lasts all day long without building up any oils. If you're somebody who has more normal skin, you wouldn't need to set this foundation with any powder, which I usually don't, and it stays on my skin all day long without moving. But if you have oily skin, then you definitely want to set it with a powder, and it's not going to move, it's not going to crease, but the blendability of the foundation is amazing because it's a lightweight foundation. Another Another thing I love about this foundation is that when you apply it on your skin, it looks really dewy. Once it settles on your skin, it gives off a matte finish and it stays like that all day long. As you can see, both foundations are really great. It just gives off two different finishes. So when it comes to concealers, I like to go for concealers that are worth your money. So the amount of product that you get is worth how much you're paying for, especially drugstore concealers. One of my favorite concealers is the NYX Bear With Me concealer. I feel like with this concealer, a little bit goes a long way. This is more of a lightweight, hydrating, and light coverage. So if you're just looking to hide your discoloration, brighten up your under eyes, or just brighten up your skin, I would recommend this Bear With Me concealer. It's more so of a skincare concealer. So if you're going for a very natural makeup look, this will be perfect. Or if you just have really dry under eyes and you're looking for something that's affordable but hydrating, this is your girl right here. I love this concealer. I use it all the time. Even if I'm doing full coverage makeup looks, I go with this concealer with a full coverage foundation. So the shade that I use is Sand, and it's very light, so it really helps to brighten up my skin, but at the same time it doesn't have too much coverage, so it's really easy to blend. And it's also a lightweight liquid concealer, so it doesn't crease under my eyes. So with this concealer, I like focusing it only on the areas where my skin needs to be brightened up, which is in the inner corners of my eyes, and just blend it out. This gives me more of that natural finish, and it helps to cover up discoloration, but it's not a full coverage concealer. And if you need more coverage with the concealer, you can place a little bit more. It is also a buildable medium coverage concealer, so you can build it up to a medium coverage. But if you're somebody who has more darkness under your eyes, or you need a concealer to help cover up like blemishes and acne, then I would recommend a full coverage lightweight concealer. One that I love is this COVERGIRL Outlast concealer. So this one would be perfect if you're looking for more coverage. The shade that I use is Warm Tawny, which is closer towards the color of my skin. You definitely don't want to use a full coverage concealer that is way too light for your skin, because it's going to defeat the purpose of covering up discoloration on your skin. I love this COVERGIRL concealer because it's also lightweight, so it won't crease under your eyes. Next we have contour. I would go with any type of liquid concealer, but I would just use my contour shade. But recently I got the Milani liquid contours, and I've been honestly loving them. They come in different shades, so you have like concealers, color correctors, but I especially love this liquid contour because it's very easy to apply. So I only place it on the areas where I want to contour, so on my cheekbones, on my chin area, my forehead, and my nose. You can use it to sculpt, define, and contour your skin. The shade that I use is Cocoa, which is darker than my skin. I would say about 5 shades darker. So it really helps to add depth. So these have a lightweight formula, and they blend honestly really smoothly on your skin. So it has this cushion applicator, and you can use that to dispense the product on your skin. And as you can see, that blended really nicely on my skin. You can see that dimension. It's not too much, it's not too harsh, it just looks really nice and natural. Alright, so next we have setting powders. So for setting powders, I like to go for different types of setting powders depending on the concealer that I'm using. So if I want a light coverage type of makeup look, I'm not going for full coverage, I would opt for a powder that is more of a translucent setting powder. So the one that I've been currently loving is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting powder in the shade Banana. So this is a very lightweight light coverage setting powder. It's very similar to a translucent setting powder. So if you're looking for a very lightweight powder that will set your concealer without adding coverage on your skin, I would say this is a good powder for that. So this is a very silky, weightless setting powder. You can also use it to set other parts of your face, such as like foundation and your contour. So it just really helps to mattify your skin, and it helps to absorb oils as well. But this is more of a sheer coverage setting powder, very similar to the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. But if you're looking for something that gives off a little bit more coverage, something that is more mattifying on the skin, then I would say the Black Radiance True Complexion setting powder is a really good one. The shade that I use for this setting powder is Honeymoon. So it's a very nice banana type of shade. It does have a golden pigment. It's great for warm undertones. They also have many other different shades, so if you're somebody who's a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. They have a variety of shades. I would say both these setting powders are great for all skin types. If you want to set your liquid products such as concealer so that they don't move around your skin. So with this type of powder, I like using a brush to apply it because it's very light, so you don't want to apply too much and look washed out. So a brush really helps to distribute the product perfectly so that it doesn't cake up under my eyes. So as you can see, that instantly set that powder and absorbed all the oils on the skin, but it didn't add any coverage onto my skin. So it's more of a natural finish, and if you apply it with a brush, you're not going to get that ashy finish and you won't get a flashback. So with this type of setting powder, I like to use a sponge and just dip a little bit into that powder. Then I like to take the excess on the sponge and place it at the back of my hand to get rid of it. This is going to get rid of the patchiness and it's not going to cake up under your eyes. And you can use whatever is left on the sponge to set your foundation. And as you can see, this definitely helped to absorb all those oils. It definitely set my concealer. However, it added a little bit of coverage, giving me more of that nice smooth finish. But as you can see, it's not too light for my skin, so this would definitely not cause any flashback. So after using setting powder, I like to use pressed powders to set my foundation. So you definitely want to set all your liquid products that you're placing on your skin. And for a pressed powder, I look for one that's very lightweight, very natural, just because I don't like adding more coverage onto my foundation. And I like one with the sheer finish just because it gives me more of that smooth finish and it looks really natural. So one that I've been loving, I've been using for years, is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. So I usually have two shades. I use one for setting foundation, which this one is in the shade Mocha, and I use this shade Tan sometimes to set my concealer as well. I'm going to be using the shade Mocha because this is a go-to shade for me. So for face powders, you want to use one that is closer to the color of your foundation. So I'm going to use the shade Mocha and apply it on this side of my face because this side of my face is where I used the NYX Born to Glow Radiant Foundation. So as you can see, I have more oils on this side of my face than this side. This side looks pretty mattifying. And because I have dry skin, I want to leave it like that. I'm going to focus on setting this side of my face. So to do that, I like to use a kabuki brush. This is going to help press that powder in without adding too much coverage. So this powder is really great for all skin types. If you have dry skin or if you have oily skin, it's good especially for oily skin because it's a mattifying powder. All right, so next is bronzer. When looking for bronzer, I look for a pigmented bronzer, and my favorite drugstore bronzer is this Makeup Revolution Splendour Glow Bronzer. So this bronzer comes in various shades, which I love. So I have two shades. So I usually use the shade Dark as a bronzer because it has a really nice warmth. Then I have here the shade Deep Dark, which I sometimes use as a contour just to add shadows. This would be a really great bronzer for somebody who's about 3 or 4 shades darker than my skin tone to add a little bit of warmth on your skin. However, I feel like this bronzer is great for many different skin tones because they have 5 different shades that vary for also different undertones. These are also really highly pigmented bronzers, so if you're worried about these bronzers showing up on your skin, you have nothing to worry about because they are so pigmented. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Dark, and I like to use a tapered brush to apply this, and I like to focus on applying it in round circular motion. So this bronzer is a matte finish bronzer, which is really great if you're trying to also set your liquid contour and you want to add a little bit of warmth on your skin without making your skin look dewy. So I would say this is a really great bronzer for oily skin and dry skin as well. But if you do have dry skin, I would say go in with a liquid bronzer or a liquid contour first, just to help hydrate and moisturize your skin before going in with this matte finish bronzer. All right, so next is blush. So for blush, I usually look for really highly pigmented blushes that just have so many different shades for different undertones. When selecting a blush, you want to pay attention to your undertone and what looks really good for your undertone. So I love these e.l.f. Putty Blushes. I have 4 or 5 different shades, but I have 2 different shades here for 2 different undertones. This one is great for deeper skin tones with warm undertones. This is the shade Caribbean. But if you're a lighter skin tone and you're more of a cool undertone, I would say this lighter pink shade right right here is best for your undertone. Now when it comes to cream blushes, you're supposed to apply them before applying setting powder, but I absolutely forgot. I'm gonna apply them on top of this makeup. But if you're gonna use these cream blushes, I would highly recommend applying it before applying your setting powders or applying any powders on your skin, just because cream blushes blend better with other cream products. I love these blushes because they're very affordable, but the texture of the blushes are very velvety. They feel very nice and soft on the skin. They're lightweight blushes, so they're not too pigmented on the skin. I feel like they'll go well with natural makeup looks and full coverage makeup looks as well, because the pigment is buildable. So if you want more pigment, I would just keep adding until you get the pigmentation that you want. But one thing I really love about these blushes is that they melt onto your skin, which just gives you such a nice, gorgeous makeup look. They're also really moisturizing on the skin, so it contains argan oil and vitamin E, which helps to nourish your skin. But if you're somebody who has oily skin and you don't want that oily residue, I would say set the blushes with a powder blush. You are going to get more pigmentation and a longer lasting blush look if you do go in with a powder blush on top of these cream blushes. But if you're looking for more of a tutorial style video where I'm using some of these products to create a full face, then definitely check out this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs this video up. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.